He's doing that. Satellite man has said that he likes to see me struggle by stealing my money. See, my parents prepared my life for me. My parents had set up accounts for me so I wouldn't have to struggle. And those are accounts that I'm the owner of. My parents paid monies for properties and built properties that I'm the owner of, so I wouldn't have to struggle. The plans and documents of my mother and father are documented for my use, for my life, for my economics, for my history, for my family history of my life. But this government man has said this several times, communicating, saying he likes to make me struggle because he claimed that his people had to struggle because your people didn't plan better lives for yourself. You didn't plan education. You know, I went to school for a long time when I was growing up. I was going to school a lot. And people go to school to get educated so their life would be less of a struggle. Maybe you couldn't make the grade, man. Maybe you were in school and you couldn't make the grade and you flunked out. But I went to school. I went to college when I was a little boy. I was like a prodigy of some acknowledgments, you know, a genius education and smart child when I was born, you know. My parents were smart too. So in reference to, this is not in reference to other people. This is only in reference to my life that my parents had planned for me, and these people are trying to steal the lifestyle that my parents afforded for me, and my career, and scale, and finances, and revenues, and residuals, and royalties, and dividends. My parents planned things for me. These government people do not have any legal right trying to play their games of struggle. That's a violation of financial laws. That's a violation of deeds laws. That's a violation of Elliot Ness laws. That's a violation of corporate law too. You wanted to fuck up other people's lives because you are an underachiever in your own life. You don't have a right tearing down people that have gotten an education, that people have lived their life in working certain things or working in certain careers. And you thought you'd just terrorize my life because you wanted to see somebody struggle? Because you're an underachiever, government man? Because you conned your way into government? That's abuse of power. You lied about your education, a lot of you did. You lied about a lot of things. You fabricated to steal from me. You've been damaging my face and teeth. My genetics came from my mother and father. My face is real. My teeth are real. Everything's real. If you stole any of my penis, you're going to get put on trial for the death penalty or life in prison. I don't give a fuck about your opinion of what you think your regulations are. I am a royal of my mother and father. And this is the land of America. And the Pledge of Allegiance talks freedom. Land of freedom of information. Land of freedom of people. Your dictatorships and your communism and your mutilation is treason. And you know, I went to school. I had a lot of studying to do. I studied a lot of things, a lot of different industries, a lot of different things growing up. And you said you wanted to make somebody struggle. Well, who the fuck are you? You don't outrank me in this country. You aren't richer than my parents in this country. You don't have a right stealing what I'm the owner of to make your life easy, as you have tried to make my life hard every fucking second of every day. You don't have a legal right. And the law books state that information, and they back up the facts of my rights, and you need to get arrested for blocking me from my mother and father's mansions, and for blocking me from my money, and blocking me from my lawsuits, and your false accusations and your fabrications of your people trying to analyze somebody by beating them up and stealing their money because you wanted to see them struggle. That's harassment. That's intrusiveness. That's trespassing. That's stalking. That's high-tech crimes. That's financial theft. That's identity theft, too. Your false advertising of who you are to steal my money, to try to claim that you thought you were a high power in this country, when you're violating categories of status. You're violating dentistry. You're violating natural qualities. You're violating DNA. You're violating bloodlines. You're violating family history. And it doesn't seem to faze you, even though I've mentioned all this information, and you're still burning my cheek right here. You've still been burning my face and teeth, and you've been stealing my fucking money. You need to show up in court, you sick, dirty, thieving, nasty motherfuckers. And this is a first world country. If you can't comprehend the laws of this country, you're going to have to fucking leave. You may have came from a third world country or even another country. This country has its own fucking laws. And you don't have a right stealing my fucking money. You don't have a right making my life a struggle. And you're some of the people that was involved in the murder of my parents. And my parents was richer than you, and they didn't owe you a goddamn motherfucking thing. Bring your documents to the fucking courtroom. Your word of mouth is not ever going to be good enough. You claimed that you thought my parents owed you something. You claimed you thought I owed you something. And you kidnapped me from my mother and father's mansions. You just messed my mouth. You kidnapped me from my mother and father's mansions. And you tried to put your debts on me. There's even documents at the Treasury that says I'm not allowed to be around people that have debt problems. I'm not supposed to be around people that have financial problems. And your people have been holding me hostage all these fucking years, ripping me off and stealing my fucking money. It even says on Treasury documents that anybody blocking me from my mother and father's mansions must get arrested. No matter what level of government they are, no matter who they are. And don't forget, my parents was richer than politicians. And your government agents are very fucking disrespectful to the ways of America and the way of freedom in America and people's lives. And you are violating the American Treasury guidelines and laws by trying to steal my money, by slandering my character, and you're violating the health industry with your satellite physically assaulting me. You're violating my CDL physical, my 2-year CDL physical. And you violated the first 2-year CDL physical. You've been terrorizing my life every fucking day for over 20-something years, 22 plus, since you held me hostage in Indiana, and you were violating my life in California, too. The laws are on books. The satellite controllers are trespassing. Their race and their activities of their lies and fabrications, they must get prosecuted for their crimes. Where is my lawsuit monies? Where's my human rights money? Is the post office sending it to the wrong place? Did the court judges not understand the violations of satellite controllers? Did the government not comprehend